What's going on, guys? My name is Todd. Welcome to Shippy Drift. Today we are going to be working on red car. Things that we'll be doing are replacing some stuff on the front end with steering and low control arm and that, and doing a bit of a service on it. Stick around. So the things that we're going to be doing are changing the LCAs, front lower control arms, from a R31 arm to an S13 arm. Now the difference is that the S13 arm has 15mm more track. I originally kept the R31 arms in there when I did the S13 like front knuckle swap. I originally kept them in there because I just wanted to keep sort of like, I didn't want to go too big with the track or anything like that. All I had were like the stock R31 Ti alloys on it. Now that I've put these Sparkos on, they sit in like literally 15mm. So I kind of just wanted to push them out a little bit more, make it a bit more aggressive. The other thing we'll be replacing is the rack end and tie rod end. The ones in it now are a fair few years old. They're a little bit rattly. They were originally in my first red R31. They went to the wagon and now they're in this. I've got some brand new ones in the wagon at the moment. Originally, I was going to put them into the red car when I did the first build, but with the R31 arms, they were a bit too short and we couldn't align it properly. So I got the old stuff, put it in there. It's been fine till now. They're a little bit wobbly at the moment. That's why I want to replace them. Going to halfway hangs this weekend. Next weekend is now is the weekend. Next weekend we are going to halfway hangs, and obviously it's a big long trip, 4-hour drive. I just wanted to have some fresh steering in there. I'm sure the wagon doesn't mind me borrowing its tire ends and rack ends. I will just buy some new ones for it, but I just haven't had the time to buy new ones for red car. So first thing we got to do, jack up the wagon. Pull the front lower control arms out and the steering out. Then jack up red car, pull the front out of him, put that in wagon, put the wagon stuff in red car. We'll do a time lapse. I won't talk too much. You'll kind of just see me running around like an idiot, jacking up cars, pulling the same things off and swapping stuff over. When I have both the arms out, I'll sit them on the bench. I'll show you the differences between them. Stick around. Time lapse time. I realised I hadn't explained why I want to put the R31 arms back onto the wagon. So as I explained, S13 arms are 15mm longer than R31 arms. The wagon has the GK Tech roll center adjuster. Now that lowers the mounting point for the lower control arm in the front, gives it a bit better like geometry, gives it a bit more lock. It also gives it track. As you can see, the knuckle usually bolts up onto this here, but it moves it so it bolts it to here, giving it like what? I guess that's 20, a bit more than 20, 25mm, 30mm more track. It's a large amount. A stock wheel on the front of this wagon now fits flush with the guard. So putting the R31 arms will bring that back into kind of where an S13 arm would usually get the stock front end to sit. I hope that makes sense. R31 arms going in this to reduce track. That's all you need to know. All right, I'll get back to it. I'll unbolt this stuff and see you then. I've undone tire end from the knuckle, the ball joint from the LCA from the knuckle, 22mm, 17mm. A lot of people probably know this, but don't bash on the top of these, even with the nut on them. You can damage the thread and damage the castle nuts. If you bash on the side of these, like here and here, or with your standard knuckles, or if you can see that, here, just on the side of the knuckle itself, you can see where I've like hit the hell out of this thing before, getting those off. Bang, 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 just keep going. It'll eventually drop off. It'll just come out. So I'm going to start hitting that. So I'll get these off. Talk to you in a second. As you probably noticed from the time lapse, I instantly broke my first rule, is to not beat the top of the crown nut. I kind of freaked out because I was like starting to like damage this alloy here. As you can see, it's come up a little bit. And I was like, oh, should I be doing this? I mean, this one came out fine. I just bashed the side of it and dropped out. This one did take a little bit more persuading. I did a little bit at the top, a little bit on the side, and eventually it did come out. I'll pull out this lower control arm now. Just got to undo the caster and just this back bolt here. 17mm on both sides. Actually, on one side, it's got a little holder. 17mm on one side, 14mm from underneath here, and that dude's going to come out. Tie rod and rack end are out. I just grab, like, they've got a flat edge on it if you want to use like a shifter. I just usually grab as you can see, I grab a pair of vice grips to just pull them off. Makes it a little bit easier. LCA's out, that's the driver's side done. I'm going to whip over and do the passenger side. I'm not going to film any of it. And just like that, both sides out. Passenger and driver's side LCAs, and passenger and driver's side rack ends. I'll get red car up on the stands with its stuff out. I'm just going to time lapse the whole thing. It's literally exactly what we did with these in the wagon in every single way. I won't show you how to do it. I'll just time lapse the whole thing. You can watch it at a bazillion times the speed. Before I jack the car up and start taking parts off, I just wanted to show you kind of what we want to achieve with changing these lower control arms. As you can see, it sits a bit sunken. It's probably about 15 mil off. It looks good, but like I just want a little bit more aggression there. I'll do a little after once we're done so we can kind of see. That's the camber plates maxed out as well. So it's about 3 degrees worth of camber, so I can't like bring it out anymore. Otherwise it kind of looks a bit dumb. I think anything less than 3 degrees kind of looks a bit silly. They kind of just look straight up and down, and I don't like the look of that. Low control arms are out of red car. Portis is here now. Hey, Portis.
Hi.
Yeah, he's helping out. So as you can see, the R31 arm is like about 15 mil shorter than the S13 one. So these will go on the wagon later if I can be bothered to do it. But these will go on the 31 now. Putting it back in is the opposite way of taking it out, believe it or not. Okay, so S13 low control arms are in. The new turret ends and rack ends are in. Portis helped me with that. Big shout out to Portis. Everyone give him love in the chat. He's a bit sad at the moment. I said in the chat, what am I, streamer? In the comments. I forgot to mention the ball joints are brand new on those lower control arms that were in the wagon, as well as the turret ends and rack ends are only 1 track day old. It's getting a bunch of fresh stuff on there, which will make it drive heaps nicer. Just in general, being a daily, I probably should have a car that drives straight. I'm gonna put the wheels back on, check the fitment. Before I put the car on the ground, I'm gonna service it, but I'm not gonna film me servicing it. It's gonna be me draining some oil and taking a filter off, so you're not interested in that. You'll see me in a second when the car's back on the ground. So I put the wheels back on. We had a bit of stuff around with the camber. It was nothing interesting. They're rubbing on the guards pretty hard. We pulled some camber out. They were both at like 6 degrees, so we've pulled like 2 degrees out, but it's rubbing pretty hard on the guards. I don't really want to roll the fenders, because then it looks a bit stupid. Factory fender looks good, but I don't want to put more camber in. Portis, what do we do? What's your professional opinion, not your sending it opinion?
Dial more camber in.
Yeah, doesn't look bad with all the camber.
No.
Doesn't look bad at all. It looks pretty good. So I think we'll...
Coming from my background though, like I've got like 8 degrees camber in the front. So like, that looks good to me.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't know, let's just pump the camber into it and stop it from rubbing, I suppose. I like the fitment of it without the camber, but it's just not practical for driving on the streets. As you can see, it's like pretty close to it. So when it goes on to lock, hits the guard and rubs and that. So we will put some more camber back into it and see how it looks. It looks good with the camber. I'm not saying it doesn't. We push the camber in. It looks fine. Portis reckons it looks good. I'm just going to do a little U-turn and just make sure it's not scrubbing or anything like that. It's rubbing enough that I think we should roll the guards. I realised that I forgot to film an outro yesterday after I was done working on red car with Portis. Everything worked out good. Rolled the front guards a little bit, pushed the camber in on it. It looks much better. It actually has like a bit of, like, say, girth to the front end now. It kind of was real sunken. Now it's actually got like a bit of width about it. So I really like the look of it now. It looks much better. It kind of did exactly what I wanted it to do. Serviced it, which was pretty good. I've got a fuel filter to go on because I have a feeling that might have something to do with my issue. Yes, I didn't fix the issue. I cleaned the AFM in that last video and it did not fix that issue I had with red car. So I'm gonna check. There might be something physical. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna check the fuel filter. This outro is actually at the beginning of my next video. So I'm about to start doing some stuff. But next video, we'll be doing a little work to red car, maybe lowering the rear, doing the fuel filter, checking out some stuff with the engine, and yeah, stick around, check it out. Catch you next time. Like and subscribe. See ya.